What sets AIR2 and AIR3 apart in UPSC CSE 2024? They didn't wait to feel ready. They started smart with the GS Foundation course at Vision IS Delhi. Structured learning, focused current affairs, real mentorship, test feedback that actually helps you grow. This course isn't just about study hours, it's about direction, clarity and the strategy toppers trust. Start strong. Start where toppers started.
UPSC preparation is not just about reading books or watching online lectures. It requires personal guidance, real discussions, and structured practice. This is where offline mentoring makes all the difference. Unlike online learning, where doubts often remain unresolved, offline mentoring offers direct interaction, real-time feedback, and an environment of discipline and competition. One-to-one sessions help students get tailored advice, strategy corrections, and focused improvement. Every aspirant has different strengths and weaknesses. Personal mentoring helps address them effectively. Ground discussions sharpen analytical thinking and help students develop a multi-dimensional perspective on issues crucial for prelims, mains, and interview. Elocution sessions help in personality development, clarity of thought, and confidence, essential for UPSC interviews. Test writing is the most crucial part of UPSC preparation. It helps in time management, structuring answers, and improving content quality. Offline mentoring is not just about teaching. It's about grooming future officers with the right guidance, discipline, and confidence. So if you are preparing for UPSC, make sure you have the right mentor by your side.
Are you still juggling newspapers, random notes, and endless PDFs trying to make sense of current affairs? Let's make your UPSC prep smarter. Introducing Digital Current Affairs Premium by Vision IAS, your all-in-one platform to read, revise, and write better every single day. Have a doubt from today's news or something in your syllabus? Just ask and get instant AI-powered answers that are concise, relevant, and completely aligned with the UPSC exam pattern. No more guesswork, no more confusion. Want to boost your mains writing skills? Practice daily with structured questions and get expert feedback to sharpen your content, clarity, and analysis, because writing well is winning half the battle. Need better revision? Use quick notes and highlights to save key points, mark important lines, and organize your current affairs in a way that actually works for you. And here's the best part, some of the most powerful tools are absolutely free. Daily news summaries from The Hindu, Indian Express, and more, curated, filtered, and exam ready. Downloadable PDFs so your notes stay organized and accessible. Daily quizzes and MCQs to reinforce what you've learned and track your progress. A smart student dashboard to monitor your performance and stay on top of your goals. Whether you're just starting or deep into your prep, Digital Current Affairs Premium adapts to your strategy and makes every minute count. So why prepare the hard way when you can prepare the smart way? Visit www.visionis.in/current-affairs and start transforming your current affairs prep today. Because with Vision IAS, you don't just stay updated, you stay ahead. UPSC CSE 2024 results are out and dreams have turned into ranks. Now you are asking, how do I get there? You've got the drive. What you need is the right guidance. Lakshya Integrated Mentoring Program 2026 by Vision IAS is your one-stop guidance program for prelims, mains, and interview. Smart, strategic revision for prelims and mains. Consistent mentorship with personalized feedback. Daily weekly schedule and practice targets. Custom test practice via Sandhan test series. Interview and personality test training. All of it structured to guide you, strategic to keep you focused, and designed to meet your evolving needs. New batch starts from 19th May. It's your turn now. Start strong with Lakshya Mentoring Program 2026.
What sets AIR2 and AIR3 apart in UPSC CSE 2024? They didn't wait to feel ready. They started smart with the GS Foundation course at Vision IAS Delhi. Structured learning, focused current affairs, real mentorship, test feedback that actually helps you grow. This course isn't just about study hours. It's about direction, clarity, and the strategy toppers trust. Start strong. Start where toppers started.
UPSC preparation is not just about reading books or watching online lectures. It requires personal guidance, real discussions, and structured practice. This is where offline mentoring makes all the difference. Unlike online learning, where doubts often remain unresolved, offline mentoring offers direct interaction, real-time feedback, and an environment of discipline and competition. One-to-one sessions help students get tailored advice, strategy corrections, and focused improvement. Every aspirant has different strengths and weaknesses. Personal mentoring helps address them effectively. Ground discussions sharpen analytical thinking and help students develop a multi-dimensional perspective on issues crucial for prelims, mains, and interview. Elocution sessions help in personality development, clarity of thought, and confidence. essential for UPSC interviews. Test writing is the most crucial part of UPSC preparation. It helps in time management, structuring answers, and improving content quality. Offline mentoring is not just about teaching, it's about grooming future officers with the right guidance, discipline, and confidence. So if you are preparing for UPSC, make sure you have the right mentor by your side.
Are you still juggling newspapers, random notes, and endless PDFs trying to make sense of current affairs? Let's make your UPSC prep smarter. Introducing Digital Current Affairs Premium by Vision IAS, your all-in-one platform to read, revise, and write better every single day. Have a doubt from today's news or something in your syllabus? Just ask and get instant AI-powered answers that are concise, relevant, and completely aligned with the UPSC exam pattern. No more guesswork, no more confusion. Want to boost your mains writing skills? Practice daily with structured questions and get expert feedback to sharpen your content, clarity, and analysis, because writing well is winning half the battle. Need better revision? Use quick notes and highlights to save key points, mark important lines, and organize your current affairs in a way that actually works for you. And here's the best part, some of the most powerful tools are absolutely free. Daily news summaries from The Hindu, Indian Express, and more, curated, filtered, and exam ready. Downloadable PDFs so your notes stay organized and accessible. Daily quizzes and MCQs to reinforce what you've learned and track your progress. A smart student dashboard to monitor your performance and stay on top of your goals. Whether you're just starting or deep into your prep, Digital Current Affairs Premium adapts to your strategy and makes every minute count. So why prepare the hard way when you can prepare the smart way? Visit www.visionis.in/current-affairs and start transforming your current affairs prep today. Because with Vision IAS, you don't just stay updated, you stay ahead. UPSC CSE 2024 results are out and dreams have turned into ranks. Now you are asking, how do I get there? You've got the drive. What you need is the right guidance. Lakshya Integrated Mentoring Program 2026 by Vision IAS is your one-stop guidance program for prelims, mains, and interview. Smart, strategic revision for prelims and mains. Consistent mentorship with personalized feedback. Daily weekly schedule and practice targets. Custom test practice via Sandhan test series. Interview and personality test training. All of it structured to guide you, strategic to keep you focused, and designed to meet your evolving needs. New batch starts from 19th May. It's your turn now. Start strong with Lakshya Mentoring Program 2026.
Yeah, good afternoon all. Some old faces, some new faces. Good to see you again. Yes, let us start with the optional geography strategy. At the same time, paper analysis for the years 2022, 2023 and 2024. What type of trends are there? First of all, let us talk about something with regard to our subject. What is geography? For a person to have a taste in geography, there must be some attitude. For all the people, geography is not a subject. Do you know this one? For all the civil service aspirants, geography is not a subject. For some people, it is just like a poison. They can't digest. But for some other, it is a life-giving entity. Like it depends upon the attitude of the person. It depends upon the character. It depends upon the visualization. The more you are having the ability to visualize the events, geography is for those people. Those people who are just in the what is called as by-hearting nature, for them, geography is not the subject. Geography is a logical subject. It is having a deductive approach. What do you mean by deductive approach? Like if this phenomena is like this one, it should be like that in other areas, and it has to be like that only. We can derive, it's a science. Just like how mathematics is having the principles, formulas, apply the formula, you get the answer. On the same lines, you can apply the concept of the world to a specific region and you can derive the same conditions there. And moreover, geography, see the word, the very word geography is nothing but description about the earth. This very subject decides everything. What it will be deciding? What you have to eat. What you have to eat is been decided by whom? Not your mom in the kitchen. It has been decided by our geography. What to wear, what type of clothes you need to wear is been decided by geography. What type of culture you should be having, what type of lifestyle you need to lead is decided by geography. When you can understand the geographical aspects, these geographical aspects decides each and every character and even the activity of the people. Why in some areas the people are industrially developed? Why in some areas the people are agrarianly developed? It depends upon again geography. Why in some areas you can find more and more economic prosperity? Again geography. See the conditions. Like I will give you one best example with respect to the economic development of the country. There is a country called as Singapore. Singapore is a small country and it has become developed country within a short span of time. When we got independence way back in the year 1947, whereas Singapore got independence only in the 60s from Malaysia. When it got independence, only after the independence of India, who has to develop? Who is senior? We are the senior. Who has to develop on a greater scale? It is we, right? But how comes that got developed more than that of India? Because of its geographical location. It is located in such area where it is the maritime trade route. Because of its geographical location, it has invested all its energy, all its strategies, all its programs, policies not into agriculture, not into some other activity, not into development of industries, but into service-oriented sectors, logistics sector. Because what is the demand of the country? It has to serve those people who are traveling through that area, and therefore catering the needs of those people, it became highly developed. Do you find any agricultural policies in Singapore? No. Do you find any industrial policies? No. Major manufacturing there. Whenever you are talking about industries, yes, service-oriented industries are there, not the manufacturing industries. Is the manufacturing industry not important? For normally, in a general condition, for every country, agrarian policy is important, manufacturing policy is important, but for some those countries which are located in some specific geographical areas, they are not important. Who will be deciding the country's policy even? It is geography. And therefore, geography is very, very important. There are two subjects in UPSC where these two subjects syllabus is being explicitly given. Meaning what? It is expressed, each and every word is defined. One is history and one is geography. That is the reason the syllabus, whenever you are seeing the syllabus, do you have a syllabus copy with you? If at all you are seeing the syllabus copy, each and every word is being specifically defined there. And so the syllabus appears to be elaborated. You take the question paper right from 1970s or 1960s, the geography optional paper. You talk about any question, each and every question keyword is given in our syllabus. It is there in our syllabus. You cannot find such any question where it is not related to our syllabus. That is what the beauty. And therefore, the syllabus appears to be elongated and the people believe like, oh my God, such a huge, vast syllabus, how can we complete? It's not the length of the syllabus, you need to understand the content which is present within that one. At the same time, see geography. This optional geography is having a very great overlapping with the GS. What not is covered? In the mains part, 110 marks are there. Also, whenever you are talking about this optional geography, many of the topics like cultural aspects are there. There is a topic called as cultural aspects in the second paper, which is related to your cultural, the culture, the social justice, all they are related to this one. Then there is a concept called as political geography. There you can find the federalism. There you can find some of the articles like, even the very important amendment like 73rd and 74th amendment, Panchayat Raj institution, decentralization of the power. See, that is basically related to polity. Decentralization, Article 73, Article 74, nothing but the local self-government. But it is covered here. Reorganization of the states, linguistic basis. Also, the social aspects like where do you find different races, where do you find different tribes, how the people are having the societal development from one area to another area, like where the people are migrating from one region to another region. Why the people have to migrate? Whenever every facility is provided there by the nature in that area, why the people will be migrating? There are certain factors called as the push factors. Someone is pushing the people to move away from that piece of land. On the other hand, some other people, or some other area is attracting the people, where they are called as pull factors. Each and every concept where the human is involved, why a man has to behave in that fashion, why the man has to be in this mood, each and every aspect can be understood once you are going in depth of geography. At the same time, the another concept completely related to our geography, which is called as disaster management. Why there is a disaster? Because of not properly managing the physical part. What is the physical part? The physical aspects like geomorphology, climatology, oceanography. Whenever the man is unable to manage those things, obviously the disasters occurs, nature's fury. Whenever it is happening, what are the pros, cons? Nothing but the environmental concepts, like how the environment is getting degraded, whether the man is involved or it is naturally happening. Nothing but your ecology and environment, how many questions, nothing but how much of weightage is there for the environment in the preliminary part, how much of weightage is there in the mains part, entirely that is related to our optional part. See the overlapping. Out of, if I roughly give, out of 1750 marks in the mains part, if at all you are very good in optional geography, you will be covering not less than 800 marks. That is what the overlapping. More than 50%. This is what the overlapping of geography. But the people are afraid of huge syllabus. Whenever the syllabus is huge, there is no chance or opportunity for the UPSC to go beyond. Even though if they try to go beyond, hardly out of n number of questions, out of all the questions, maybe 8 questions in the paper 1, 8 questions in the paper 2, there may be just one question. I am not talking about a complete question, maybe one part of the ABC within the question, nothing but sub question. There is no question of over crossing the syllabus. Every part of the syllabus is clearly defined. Is it clear? See, this is what the importance of our geography. First of all, you need to see the cost benefit analysis. Whenever you are very thorough with the geographical optional, you can have a very great overlapping in n number of topics like ecology, environment, disaster management. Then you can talk about IR, international relation. There was a question. See, after the preliminary exam, one of our geography optional student was calling, "Sir, you are talking about the international north-south transport corridor, sir. That was given as a question in the preliminary part, sir. Nowhere we heard about that one in the international relations, but in geography, we understood that one." What is that international north-south transport corridor? The new concept, the new bypassing of the what is called as the Suez Canal. Now there is a new transportation route developed. Where you can get all this information in our geography? Is it clear? That is what the importance of our subject. Don't feel bad about the photo. They have taken some a random photo, okay? Let us remove this photo. Let us go for seeing the syllabus and all these things. Come on, let us see the syllabus at the same time. Let us talk about the papers, previous year papers, and what needs to be written in those for those questions. For those questions, what should be the answers? Yeah. Let us start with the syllabus. What are the contents that are given here in the syllabus? Let me throw some light even on the paper 1, since there is a great correlation between the paper 1 and paper 2. In fact, where you need to connect the paper 2 with the paper 1. Let me ask one question. In which paper, either it is paper 1 or paper 2, the students are getting more marks? Or they are getting more score in the paper 1 or paper 2? Why paper 2? Because it is our Indian part. Whereas paper 1 is a systematic geography. What do you mean systematic geography? It is completely the world affairs. Completely world concepts. The world concepts are applied to a specific region, and so it is called as, the second paper is called as a regional study. What is the second paper? Basically, it is a regional study. What do you mean by regional study? World study. Are the winds are there in the world? Yes, the winds are there in the world. All those winds, they are having some impact on one specific region of the world? Yes. the concept of world, if it is applied to a specific region, where it is called as the regional study. In the regional study, you are having the ability, you are having the greater scope to get more marks. This is what the regional part. See the syllabus that is there. If at all you are seeing just the headings that are there, like what are the headings that are given here? One is the first and foremost division is the physical part. This is the physical geography. The other one is the geography is basically divided into two parts. One is called as the physical part, and one is the human part. In the physical part, what is given in the paper one? Let us see the paper one here. Geomorphology, the first and foremost chapter. Geomorphology is part A. This is part B. What is part B? It is coming under the human part. This is paper one. Let me put like this one. Right? This is the. Okay. Then just I want to show you where you can have the clarity, where to where you need to connect the one. Then oceanography. See why these terminologies like ology, geomorphology, climatology, oceanography. Why ocean? For ocean it is only description. Why not oceanology? What is ology? Ology is nothing but study. Whereas here graph is simply description. And therefore, whenever there is only description here, we need to pay less, what is called as less analysis is there, but whereas here the study where more analysis is there. This is what the meaning of the term graphy and the ology. Then the fourth very important one, the fourth one called as biogeography, very, very important one. Biogeography, what is the link? Because of these three only, the bio is taking birth. What is bio? Life. The life is because of these three products. These three are the non-life entities giving birth to life. What is life? The plants and animals. All we are the products of these three. What are these three? One is land, nothing but the rocks. If the rocks are not there, there is no life at all on the planet Earth. If the gases are not there, there is no life. If the water is not there, there is no life. Therefore, this is the product of these three. Then, the larger one, in fact, the biogeography was the larger one, in which environment was one of the concepts once upon a time. But right now, because thanks to the global warming, thanks to the anthropogenic factors, what is having more important right now? It is the environment. The impact of the man on the environment. It is the environmental geography. The environmental geography. All they are in the physical part. Whereas in the human part, what do you mean by human part? How these physical aspects are impacting the human activity. If these are not impacting the human, just imagine, if the human is not there, if the human is not involved, if the impact of the rocks is not there on the human, if the impact of the gases is not there on the human, this fellow never tried to study what is this one. Because we always want something in return. जो भी काम करेगा कुछ ना कुछ बेनिफिट होना चाहिए. अगर बेनिफिट नहीं होने से काम करने का मन नहीं करेगा. Right? This is what the man. Always, why the man is trying to understand all these things? Because it is impacting him. It is giving some benefit. What is that benefit? The very life survivability. In the form of what? Agriculture. In the form of what? Industries. In the form of what? Transportation. In the form of what? Society. All these developments are there because of these factors. Let us see the part B. What is the part B syllabus according to the syllabus? The first and foremost is called as the perspectives. In human geography, a very, very important and the very interesting concept. How the man is changing over a period of time and how the subject geography is developing over a period of time. There are good number of paradigms. The paradigm developments, like the changing of phase of development from one to another. How geography was treated earlier. Earlier it was treated as a simple subject, but as and when the people started identifying the importance of the syllabus, importance of the subject, they started making geography more science. Model building was developed, theory building was developed, nothing but the quantitative revolution developed. When the models and theories are keep on developed, then man at one point identified he himself just like a cog in a machine. What are these things? Everything is model, everything is a theory. Where is the man's behavior? Man's taste is not considered, man's ability is not considered, only the theories are considered. Then man started realizing, okay, theories and models, to a certain extent they are important, not as a whole. Then the behavior was given more importance. Then came the behavioralism in geography. Because of giving more and more importance to the behaviorism, then the positivism developed. What is this positivism? Having more and more rationality, having more and more benefits to the humankind, thinking very practically, having very great rationality. Let us not consider behavior of a group of people. See, let me give one small example. When the man started developing, he started developing some model. As and when the societies grew, he started developing some models. When he started developing some models, now he wants to have one decision making. He wants to develop one policy. For that, he wants to take a decision. When he wants to take a decision, say for example 10 people are there, here 10 people are there. Now for all these 10 people, this particular policy, whatever the policy that the people are, means what that the head wants to make, that should be benefit to all the 10 people. In order to have the beneficially policy for all the 10 people, this fellow has to take the inputs from all the 10 people, right? See, if at all I want to implement, I want to conduct one exam, I need to take opinion of you people, right? When to conduct, what is the syllabus that needs to be conducted, whether it is complete syllabus or a part of the syllabus, opinion of all the people. Now, when he wants to frame a policy, he wants to take the decision of the people, he has selected earlier only 2 personalities, opinion of only 2 people. Then he made a policy. That policy is not suitable to all 10. Got the point? When he started increasing the number of samples, what is this one? This is called as sample. Earlier the sample size was 2. When he started increasing the size of the sample, the differences started reducing. More the sample size, less the differences. And so this very concept is applied in the form of what is called as democracy. What is democracy? By the people, of the people, for the people, this is what the statement is given, right? What is democracy? Taking the opinion of all the people. More the sample, less the differences. And so democracy is being accepted worldwide. Why we need to accept democracy? Because it is the opinion of the majority. What happened in our India? Just imagine this one. Just analyze this one. What happened in our India soon after we got independence from the tyranny rule of the Britishers? Then what happened? The intellectuals of India started questioning the politicians, saying that let there be voting rights only to the educated personalities. What do you mean by voting rights? It is the voting rights through which the people can be electing their leader to rule the entire area. To whom the voting rights should be given? To those people who know what you mean by constitution, to those people who knows what you mean by a prime minister, to those people who knows what you mean by governance. If they don't know what you mean by legislative, what do you mean by judiciary, what do you mean by executive, if they don't know, how comes the people can elect the leaders, right? And so the intellectualities at that point of era, they started giving a decision. They gave their opinion, saying that let there be voting rights only to the educated youth of India. Had we have followed that policy, just imagine, had we followed that policy instead of universal adult franchise. What do you mean by universal adult franchise? Giving voting rights to everyone, irrespective of whether that is educated fellow or an uneducated fellow, or he is having wealth, or he is poor, or he is having one caste or other caste, irrespective of caste, creed, sex, place of birth, whatever the condition, the voting rights are given. When the voting rights are given like that, but what was the idea of the educated personalities? Let there be voting rights to only those people who are educated. Had the voting rights were given at that point of time to only to the educated, that definitely the future of India would have not been like this one. We would have developed maybe in the 70s itself, maybe in the 80s itself, who knows? Got the point? Because of giving voting rights to all the people, now we are seeing the consequences. Whoever passed the post first, if they in a region, suppose if they in a region, one particular caste, maybe 30% of people belongs to one particular caste, maybe X caste, and the another fellow who is having 20% of their caste. Therefore, the people started encouraging the caste. The caste-based politics was developed. Because of just having 30%, these people are voting to that fellow who belongs to their caste. And he crosses the post first. When he is elected by only 30% of the people, who is majority? 70% of the people are in majority, but that majority voice is not heard, but this fellow becomes the leader. This is what is happening right now. Is that clear? Could understand what is happening? What happened in the past? What is the repercussion in the present? What happened in the policy making in the past? What type of present policies? Every policy, whatever the policy we need to develop right now, it is depending upon the previous policies. Based upon the developments of that policy, we need to frame a new policy. We cannot bring altogether a new policy from nowhere else. And so, there is a continuum. In order to have the developments, that continuum needs to be maintained. Because of this one, some lacunae is there in our policy making, in our economic development, in the reforms. What happened in the case of agricultural reforms? In the year 2022, what happened? The government of India has brought some 3 agricultural laws were being brought. According to the government, they are the best policies. But there was a great agitation. Punjab started burning like anything. Haryana started burning. The roadblocks happened. And the people right from Punjab, Haryana, they started walking till Delhi, blocking the national highway of Punjab to Delhi. Because of all these blockages, the road blockages, the government has to roll back. Whether the policies are greater or not, whether the decision of the government is good or not, that's a different story. But why the government's decision is not being accepted by the people? If it is democratic form of the country, why the governmental decisions are not being followed? There are certain loopholes. These are the things. For all these things, you need to know the base, nothing but the past. What is the past in the case of our geography? This is the one. Could understand? See the current aspect from where to where we are linking. This is the one where you can understand the constitution, the democracy, the policies, that you can understand. But here in our geography, from where to where we are connecting, this is the thing where you can understand. And so I am comparing this one to this one. If at all you are understanding the perspectives, how the geography got developed as a discipline, then you can understand the models, then you can understand the theories, then you can understand how the societies were developed in that fashion, in that particular region. All these things can be understood. What is the significance of the man? That is what the perspectives, right? Now, let us go to the next one. The next is very, very important one, called as the second one, economic geography. Very, very important topic is the economic geography. Why? Because What do you mean by economic geography? The overlapping of geography with the economics is called as economic geography. In the economics also you can find the topic called as agriculture, but in the economic geography what you can understand is what type of crops are cultivated in what type of areas. You cannot cultivate all the products wherever you want. Sir, I want to see apples growing in the Jaisalmer of Rajasthan. Nahi hoga. So wherever you want the crops, there you cannot find the crops that cannot be grown. They require some climatic conditions. What it is called as the tolerance level. Let us not write this one, which is called as the tolerance level. For each and every species, there is certain tolerance level. Because you are having greater tolerance level, you have selected UPSC. Do you understand? All you people are having the greater tolerance level. Because you believe that, yes, I am going to kill 2 years of my valuable time period. I am going to give the attempt after 2 years, after complete preparation. The 3rd year, I am entering into the service. Meaning what? See, you are ready to invest these 3 years of time period. That is what your tolerance level. Maybe your friend who happens to be a thick friend till PG, that fellow took the other option. Might be software or might be mechanical engineer, might be some other occupation. Got the point? Why? Because they are not investing their time. That means what? Their tolerance level towards UPSC is very less. This is what the tolerance level. Economic geography. See, from here what I want to show here is, from here you can find the connectivity with the paper 2. This is the paper 1. What is paper 2? Paper 2 is something, just now I said that it is a regional part. What do you mean by regional part? Applying all the world concepts to a specific region. If you can understand the economic concepts of paper 1, those concepts will be applied in the paper 2. Like agriculture, like resources, like industries, like transport. All they are related to economy, like trade, like communication. What is paper 2? The paper 1's concepts are being taken and they are implemented to a specific region called as India. How is agriculture happening in India? Whereas here in the economic geography, you will be talking about the agricultural typologies. What type of agricultural aspects are there? There was a personality called as Whitley. Whether that concept is applicable to India or not. When it comes to the soil, see this one, this is about the soil. The soils of the world, where the classification is given by Mr. Marbert, who happens to be the Russian geographer. Marbert's soil classification, is it applicable to India? All the world concepts, they are applicable to India or not? That is what the connectivity. Whenever you are writing about the resources or industries or transportation, you need to mention the personalities. Say for example, there is a question about the soils in India. You can correlate the concept to the Marbert classification. Then your answer becomes an optional answer. Normally, the question can be there even in the GS also. What type of soils are there in India? Explain the characteristics of the soils in India. That is a very conventional question. The same question can be there even in the GS also. But the answer should not be in a conventional way. The question may be in a conventional way. The same type of question may appear both in the paper 2 of optional geography or in the GS part of geography, but the answer, the same you will be writing the answers in the GS as well as in the optional, but the answer should be different. What makes the difference in the optional geography? You are connecting the concepts of paper 2 to the paper 1. You will be enlisting the name of the personality. Mr. Marbert classification of intrazonal soils, of the zonal soils, where the Indian soils are like this one. The characteristics are like this one. If at all you are connecting that one, it becomes the optional part. If there is a question on agriculture, then connect this with this one to the agriculture, rent concept of in the economic geography, and also the industries. Whenever there is a industrial concept in India, connect with the Alfred Weber of the economic geography of the paper one. All the concepts, you will be, as and when you keep on following the classes, definitely you will be coming across all the personalities, the names of the geographers. The names of the geographers are very, very important. You need to know some of the names of the geographers. You need to remember at any cost, right? Then the third one is called as, what is the third one called as? Population and settlement. Population and settlements. See the syllabus in the paper 2, what it is given in the form of cultural aspects. It is given in the form of cultural aspects and settlements even. Cultural aspects, settlements, that is given here. Then we talk about the regional planning. The regional planning in the paper 1. What is the concept here? It is a regional development. It is a regional development and planning. The same is the concept. In fact, this concept of regional planning and development is very, very important in paper 2. It's not so important in the paper 1, but it is having the greater weightage right from 2020, where the questions are repeatedly asked. The questions are asked repeatedly here, the questions are asked repeatedly here, the questions are asked repeatedly here. These are the very, very important questions that are repeatedly asked here in the paper 2. The last one is called as models and theories. What is here? The models and theories are related to the Indian part as the political aspects and all the other miscellaneous concepts are included in the contemporary issues. The only topic that is not connected, we didn't connect it, is this part. What is this part? This is the physical part, and so the first and foremost topic is called as the physical setting. This is how the syllabus is being prepared. You should be having the syllabus at your fingertips. Always, you will be keep on opening the syllabus copy where it is there, and you will be comparing. The moment once you come across one particular statement, you should be having the concept in the mind. Yes, it is a topic in the regional geography. It has to be connected to the regional part of the world. What is there in the regional part of the world? There are certain concepts like growth pole theory, the growth center theory. The Indian geographer, the greatest Indian geographer, Mr. R.P. Mishra, is the one who is talking more about the regional disparities and the growth pole, growth center concept. Right? What do you mean by growth center and all these things? We need to implement that particular concept here in the regional planning of India. Whoever is having this connectivity will be there in the list. Could understand? See, are we by-hearting the things? This is the logic. Once you know the concept, where to connect, what to connect, how to connect, everything will fall in line automatically. You need not to connect, it will be connected automatically. But you should be knowing this structure. Without paper 1, we cannot deal paper 2. Because it is the application of paper 1 on a specific region. That is what the paper 2. Is it clear? The syllabus should be there on your fingertips. Keep this in mind, right? Now, after talking about all these things, like syllabus and all these things, let us talk about, let me show what are the contents that are given here in the paper, like paper 2022, paper 2023, paper 2024. See, this is what the geography, the first and foremost chapter. What is the first chapter? Physical setting. Within the physical setting, you are having so many concepts. That is what I said. Each and every topic of the syllabus is being clearly defined. What do you mean by defining? Physical settings is not just one line syllabus. It is having so many sub-chapters. Right? See this one. Space relations. What is this space relation? Nothing but it is the international relations. See the concepts. Where you can connect. What is this one? This is called as international relations. This is IR. That is what I am talking about. International North-South Transport Corridor. What is that international transport corridor? Why the Myanmar government didn't give the oil extracting rights to India? Look East policy got converted into Act East policy. What do you mean by Karadan multimodal project? Why there is a dispute between India and Nepal with respect to Kalapani? Kalapani post. What is this Kalapani? Kalapani is the name of a post. What happened in the past? If you know the past, you can understand the present condition. These are all the things that are coming here. The spatial relations of India with the neighbor. Which neighboring country is such a thick friend of India? Just one neighboring country. Thank God at least one country is there with whom we can say that, Are yaar, tu mera dost hai. Who is that guy? Bhutan. Or else, we need to feel like, yes, Pakistan fellow, you're also, you cannot rely on these people like, Chinese, Pakistani people, Sri Lankans. Till recently, Sri Lankan people are good, but what happened to these fellows? All of a sudden, they also started playing games. This is what happened. There is a small island called as, there is a small island in between Sri Lanka and India. The controversial island. The name of the island is called as Kachadivu Island, where there are certain conflicts, the cultural conflicts, then the administrative conflicts. There are some international issues are there between Sri Lanka and India. All these things are being dealt here. Right? Relations with the neighboring countries. Also, what type of structure is there in India? What type of relief is there? Relief is nothing but the difference between the maximum and the minimum point of a given region. Then drainage system. What are the rivers that are flowing in India? What are the names of the rivers? Like, in one of the paper, they have given one of the river, especially in the map pointing in the paper 2, the name of the river is called as Radiak River, R-A-D-I-A-K, Radiak River. We will be normally talking about Brahmaputra. We will try to know the tributaries of Brahmaputra. Up to tributaries of Brahmaputra, we will be concentrating. But what the question was given? Tributary to the tributary. What is this Radiak River? Radiak River is a tributary to Sankosh River. Sankosh is a tributary to Brahmaputra. Who is concentrating to such a micro level? But there is a logic. Why that is asked as a map pointing question in that particular year? Because some current affairs is there. Something happened over the Radiak River. In fact, the plan was to construct a bridge, but that was cancelled because of some conditions where it is not economically feasible, and at the same time it is not feasible for the people to cross that particular one. And so they stopped the project there. When such news are there, that river was there in the news, and so the question was asked. For everything there is a logic. Who will be giving the guidance to what is called as where to study, which part to study, which question needs to be given more importance on that particular year. For one particular year, this particular topic, Brahmaputra, may be important. In other year, maybe Brahmaputra is not important, some other river is important. Why? Because more current developments are happening in that area. Maybe once upon a time, more current developments are happening on the Brahmaputra. Now the shift is there to Ganga, maybe. And so Ganga becomes important. What was important in the 2022 may not be important in the year 2023. What was very important in the 2023 may not be important in the 2024. Got the point? And so, who will be giving the guidance like where to give more preference on which topic you need to study more? Who will be guiding you? It is the newspaper. Therefore, without skipping the newspaper, you have to prepare your optional. Specifically, when it comes to agriculture, when it comes to environment, when it comes to the programs, policies of Government of India, for all these things, newspaper is the best source. Right? I will talk about the reference also, then I will show all these things. Then, No need to explain all these things, like, physiography of India. In fact, we have studied more in the GS also. What are the structures that are there right from Aravalis, right from Himalayas till Kanyakumari. Also the islands like Andaman, Nicobar and the Lakshadweeps, right? All, again, the Indian monsoon pattern, the cyclones, the western disturbances, then floods and the droughts, the climatic regions, natural vegetation, soil type, nothing but, see the vegetation, soil types, nothing but this called as biogeography. This is the biogeography part. This is the climatology part, the western disturbance, tropical cyclones, floods, droughts, all they are related to the climatology part. Then this is related to geomorphology. Whatever the concepts in the paper 1 are there, all you need to check here in the paper 2. Then after the physical settings, the resources. These forms very, very important. Because for any country, what is more important is resources. For suppose you just think as a personal, the moment once you enter into the UPSC, you will be searching for what? Resources. Right? Sir, what are the resources, sir? What I need to study? Everyone will be telling, yeah, what are you doing? Come on, purchase NCERT. You will be purchasing bundles of NCERT. One bundle here, one bundle here. After purchasing, see the interest of the person. The people will be having more interest in purchasing. Once you take into the room, they become pillows. They become support for some other material. We hardly will be opening and will be reading. What is the interest? Interest is there in purchasing, not in reading, right? These are the resources. What are the resources for the country? For every country, what is important is resources. Why the land needs to be studied? If there is no land, more the land, nothing but more the land resources, more the economic development. Land is the basic resource. The first and foremost resource is the land resource. Whenever the land is fertile, see the country like China. Which country is larger in size? India or China? China is much larger than India, right? But when compared to the cultivable land, whenever you are comparing the cultivable land of India, which is also called as arable land. What do you mean by arable land? Cultivable land. Whenever you are cultivating, then only you will be getting the food. When China geographical area is very high, very huge than that of India, but the cultivable land in China is very less than that of India. It is almost all approximately less than, a little bit more than half of India. That is what the cultivable land. When that is the condition, sir, then the question comes, sir, when the cultivable land is almost all half of our cultivable land, in India, population, once upon a time it was less than China, now it is more than China, almost all equivalent to China, then how come, sir, when half of the land is there, how the food security is there in China? Why the food security is there in China? When India is having such a great arable land, yet food insecurity is sometimes here and there we will be talking about the malnutrition, not malnutrition, it's called as, sometimes you can find the what is called as food scarcity in that area, right? Like the best example, Kalahandi. Where is Kalahandi? Odisha, Bolanpur, Bolangir, Kalahandi, Bolangir and Koraput district of Odisha, where the some what happened, lack of food was there, the people died there. That is what the hunger deaths that happened, witnessed in India. When India is having such a great arable land, how comes hunger deaths are there? When China is having less arable land and yet it is having such a great, it is supporting such a great population. Why, how and why it is supporting such a great population? Because see the productivities. Though our land is high, we are working on the land and we are producing how much? 100 bags. The same piece of land are less than the piece of land of India. They are working on the piece of land and they are producing 1000 bags. Just imagine. Whenever we are having same piece of, means not same, even less than our land, the arable land of India and the arable land of China, China's arable land is less, yet they are producing more productivities. See the contrast there. When we are having such a great arable land, Why we are not having such a great productivities? Technology, use of certain high HYVs, more and more R&D, more and more developments of the high yielding varieties of seeds. And so the cultivation is on a greater lines, more productivity. See, these are the small things where you need to have a focus on. Wherever they are fit, you need to keep on writing those things in your answers, right? Land, then groundwater resources, then the surface, surface and the groundwater, energy resources, mineral resources, biotic minerals, biotic resources. In the biotic resources, which comes? Is a man is a resource to the country? Yes. In fact, right now, what is happening? All the world leaders, they are asking their people to produce more and more population. Even in India, the government is silent. Till recently, the government is having very great policy on the population. Let us stabilize the population. Now the government has, now the government is relaxed. Like, even though the parents are giving birth for the third child, fourth child also, it is not restricting. Earlier, in the 73rd and 74th amendments of the constitution, where the local self-government, whoever is having the third kid, they are unfit for they are not qualified for contesting the elections in the local self-government. These are the things that are there. But right now, the government is silent. Meaning what? They want to see the parents to produce more and more kids. Because the entire world, the decline of the population growth rate is happening. Even in India, except the states like, see this one, except the states like Uttar Pradesh, the state like Bihar, the state like Madhya Pradesh, these states are having the fertility rate and the replacement rate, where the fertility rate is more than the replacement rate. Whereas majority of the states, including Rajasthan, where the fertility rates got declined than the replacement rate. That is what is happening. And so, if the trend continues till 2100, even in India, we will be seeing less population. That is what the projection given by one of the medical journal. There is a medical journal called as Lancet. These journal reports are very, very important. The medical journal, the World Medical Journal, which is accepted by the World Health Organization, it has predicted that India is going to have the less population in the year 2100, yet that very less population is top number 1 in the world. Is it clear? Though we are going to have less population, but that very less population is number 1 in the world. Meaning all other countries are less than India, right? This is about the resources, then agriculture. Very, very important concept. Agriculture itself is a module. You can prepare extensively. There are so many such concepts that are there with respect to the agriculture. Every year, without fail, minimum of 30 to 35 marks of the questions are coming from the agriculture. Minimum of 30 marks will be there with respect to agriculture. See, these are the one. Any concept can be there, whether it can be related to livestock or the types of agriculture or technology in the agriculture or climate change in agriculture or agriculture and the economic development. Any concept may be there. Minimum of 30 to 35 marks are there in every year. See, agroclimatic zones, agroecological zones. Each and every concept is important. Agroclimatic zone, what do you mean by agroclimatic zone, and how comes the agroclimatic zones are giving way for the development of agroecological zones? What is the difference between the agroecological zone or agroclimatic zone? Such a wonderful concept is this one. How many agroclimatic zones are there? There are 15 agroclimatic zones. These 15 agroclimatic zones paved way for the delineation of agroecological zones. Which is more important? Agroecological zones are important. For the greater productivity, which strategy needs to be implemented? Agroecological zones are more important. How many agroecological zones are there? 20 agroecological zones are there in India. Right? These are the very important concepts that are there in the agriculture. Then comes industry. Whatever the preference you need to give in the agriculture, the same preference needs to be given even in the industries. Without this one, the world trade cannot happen. There is a concept called as trade, world trade in the paper 1, in the economic geography. That trade, world trade needs to be connected with the India. How India is exporting the goods, which products are being exported, like from which ports Right now, what is the greatest infrastructural development which is acting as a fillip for the export and import developments? It is the ports. That is the reason the government of India recently has introduced one of the largest port, which is called as a major port in Maharashtra, just to the north of Bombay, in the district called as Palghar district. The name of the port is called as Vadhwana port. The Prime Minister of India has nationalized this port, saying that it is one of the major ports. With this, number of major ports till recently were just 12. Now the number of major ports became 13. See, all they are the current developments. See, what is the underlying statement? Come on, underline this one. What you have to do is, in order to master geography, you should be having the current affairs knowledge and extensive skill. If at all you are having the current affairs, means what is happening around you, if you know that one, you can master the subject. If the current affairs knowledge means what is happening around you is not known, if at all you are writing only the old concepts, you will not be given good marks. It is always the current developments needs to be given as an examples in the answers. More you need to concentrate on what is happening around you. In fact, for the civil servant, what is more important? More command on the current affairs. When the optional is demanding, and you will be on your toes, which is very much beneficial for you, right? This is what the industries, right? Special economic zones. Why? See, the concept of special economic zones were borrowed from China, but on par with the economic zones, the special economic zones of China, Indian special economic zones are not working. We have borrowed that concept, we have implemented the same strategy, yet whenever the Chinese economic zones are giving 100% result, at least we need to have some 50 to 60% of the result. We are not having that much of result. Though we have implemented the same concept, but not even 50% of the result is there when compared with the China. Right? Why it is like this one? You need to check. What are the things when we are going to talk about the special economic zones? We will be talking about all those important things. Like, again, the next one, transport, communication, trade, which is more and more related to industries, right? What type of transportations are there? Whether the India is having very great transportation network, if it is there, what are the new modern types of transportation the government of India is planning to? All we people know waterways, roadways, landways and all these things, seaways and the airways are there. What is that important transportation network where the government of India is planning, where the discussions are happening in the Ministry of Road and Transportation, where Niti Aayog personnel were meeting with Mr. Nitin Gadkari? Have you ever come across the transportation called as Hyperloop transport network, right? The government wants to go for the Hyperloop transportation network. Maybe in the next future, that will, if the government takes a decision, definitely there will be a question in the UPSC. Who knows, in the very next year, the Hyperloop transportation may be a question, right? All these are the very important. And also the pipelines. The pipelines, especially right now, there are a good number of pipelines where with the pipelines we are earning more and more foreign exchange, specifically in the petroleum products. Sir, what are you talking, sir? India is having less petrol, sir. How comes we are exporting petrol? Not only petrol, we are exporting petrol, we are exporting diesel, we are exporting kerosene, we are exporting naphtha. All these products are being exported by the India. Sir, we are importing the oil, no sir. How comes we are exporting? Yes, we are importing what? We are not importing petrol. We are not importing the diesel. We are importing the crude oil. The crude oil is refined into petrol, diesel, naphtha, and Vaseline and all these things, and then we are exporting all these products to neighboring countries. Like till recently, you will be shocked by listening this one. Till recently, we supplied petrol to Pakistan. Sir, is it true, sir? Petrol to Pakistan? Yes, business is business. Relations are relations. And do you understand? Whenever you are getting more profit from the neighborhood, what else is required? Come on, kitna chahiye, le lo, paisa de do. This is what is happening. Till recently, very recently, we exported petrol to Pakistan. Now we stopped because of those something, the tussle issues are there. Also, till recently, we supplied diesel to Bangladesh. And in fact, we supplied until this woman, who is that woman, Sheikh Hasina was there as the president of Bangladesh. We constructed a pipeline with our money. We spent our budget. We took so much of pain to construct the pipeline up to the boundary of the Bangladesh. From there, the Bangladesh constructed the pipeline. And we supplied diesel. When Sheikh Hasina government got collapsed, now these fellows are not purchasing the diesel from India. These are, see, the political developments which are having a shadow impact on the economic development. Right? These are all the things that are there. You need to see each and every aspect in the prism of syllabus, and you need to read in the newspaper. How you need to read the newspaper? In the prism of optional syllabus. Where that syllabus means what? Where that news is there related to which topic of our optional. If at all you are connecting the news with the optional syllabus, yes, your job is done. Every day in the newspaper, at least one concept or the other concepts are getting connected with the optional part. Specifically geography, no other option is having such a great connectivity with the current affairs. It is our optional which is having the greater connectivity. Right? So, Indian space program. See this one. They have introduced the word called as communication and introduced space. What not is introduced in geography? Whatever they feel like, come on, whenever they feel very bored, yaar kya kare? Kuch aa gaya naya sa, chalo geography mein dalo. These people, they have dumped everything in the geography, because the space is the one, the space program is the one right now which is very, very important for communication. The satellites, there are so many satellites where the communication satellites are there, the resource, the resource predicting satellites are there. Also the climatic prediction satellites are there, like the INSAT 3D, INSAT 3C, then INSAT 3R. Also you can find the resource sat, you can find the cartosat, you can find so many ocean sat is there to study the oceans. All they are for the communication. And what is the beauty of our Indian Meteorological Department? You know, in the entire the Indian Ocean, which country is having the goods, which country is having the capacity to dissipate the information about the climatic condition, about the resources, about the mapping conditions, about the information regarding the ocean, it is our Indian Meteorological Department. It's all because of the space program. This is what is happening, right? What was that last satellite where we started trying to send through our workhorse called as PSLV, but got failed? Do you know this one? PSLV, hardly we can count on our fingertips how many failed programs are there. The very first was the failed one, never there was a fail again, and recently again there was a failed mission. PSLV getting mission fail is, it's a big news. Normally it is GSLV or some other vehicle may be misplaced or something, failed program will be there, but PSLV is considered as a workhorse for Indian space program. Such PSLV, normally it won't be failing, but last time when they have launched the program, in the third step, when the satellite is about to release, something happened in the boosters and it got failed. This is what happened. When such failed programs are there, you need to pay attention on this one. Then the question should be there on that particular satellite which was launched, why it got failed, had that satellite got placed in the orbit, what are the important benefits, what are the uses, what are the pros, what are the cons. You need to understand all these things. Is it clear? See, this is how you need to approach the exam. After the one, cultural settings, very, very important is the cultural setting, because geography and the culture cannot be separated. Inseparable things. The culture of the region is because of the geography of the region. You talk about any cultural aspect, why the society of that area is like that, why the society of another area is like that. Because of their geography, their culture is different. Because of our geography, our culture is different. What is the culture in the South India is a lungi wearing culture. The attire, why there is a attire called as the cotton attire? It's because of geography of that area. Whereas the Central Asian people, they are not into lungi wearing, they are not into the cotton wearing, they are into wool wearing. Why in the Central Asia where you can find continentality, again geography comes into picture. When the continentality plays a major role, the people has to protect their body because, you know, in the continentality what happens, the temperatures, the summers are too hot, the winters are too cold, same as the condition here in Delhi. See right now what is happening, it is summer, it is scorching summer, temperatures are day by day they are soaring like anything. It is what is happening. And so we are forced to protect our body from the scorching sun. At the same time, even in the winter, we need to protect the body. Because at the point of time, the mercury levels will be keep on dipping. The mercury levels comes to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 also. Right? We are dreaming of all India rank number 1, but in Delhi, you will be having 1 degree easily. You know, every year it is happening. This is what happened. The culture. Always the culture is because of the geography of the region. It is the geography of the region that makes the area richly populated, that makes the area richly economically developed. It is the geography of the area that makes the people to work hard. It is the geography of the region that makes the people to be lazy also. These are all the aspects that are there. Where do you find thick forest? Depends upon geography. Where do you find deserts? Depends upon geography. And the best part of the entire world is our India. You talk about our India, every physical feature is present in India. Do we have deserts? Yes. Do we have thick forest? Yes. Do we have rainforest? Yes. Do we have deciduous forest? Yes, we are having. Do we have the glaciers? Yes, we do have the glaciers. What not is not there. Everything, you talk about any variety of climatic condition in the world, you can find a small tukda to milega idhar. That is what the Indian geographical condition, right? This is about the cultural settings. Then coming to settlements. What type of settlements are there? What do you mean by rural settlement? What do you mean by urban settlements? What do you mean by conurbations? What do you mean by sprawls? The urban sprawls are there, the conurbations are there. Also you can find the rural urban fringe areas. How the developments happened in the case of urban areas. There are good number of models are there. Concentric model of Mr. Burgess. There you can find the multiple nuclei model. There are different models are there in the paper 1. The same models are being applied even here in the paper 2 also. So you can see whenever you are talking about the morphology of the rural settlement. What is morphology? Changing. Study about the changes in the rural settlement. Are the rural settlements are same in the 1970s and 2005, 2025? No. The rural settlements got completely changed. And so the urban settlements also changed. What type of changes are there? That is what is given here. Urban developments. As and when the urban areas are keep on growing at the cost of the rural areas, migration is happening. What is the impact there and what is the impact here? Just see this point. Whenever the people are migrating from one area to another area, the impact is there on both areas. We always feels like the impact is there on the receiving areas. Meaning what? The source areas where the people are migrated to. Because we will be seeing more negative impacts here. At the same time, even at the source or this is the destination, that is the source area. Even in the source area also, you can find negative impacts. What type of negative impacts? Say for example, a group of people migrated from one area to another area. Always we will be talking about this area, destination area only. Number of people came. There is a great pressure on the resources. Pressure on the water facility is not there. The slum areas developed. Why the slums are developing? Because these people came with any no work and nothing. They came, first of all, they need to get nurtured in the urban areas and then they need to identify or they need to find a job. Until that point of time, they need to survive there. And so they cannot live in a big lodges. They will be living where? In a shattered settlements called as ghettos in the Western world. What are ghettos? Nothing but the slum areas, development of the slum areas. Even in India, till 1970s, we didn't recognize the urban poverty. Slum areas are not recognized. For the first time, it was Mrs. Indira Gandhi saying that, yes, garibi hai hamara India mein, poverty. Then she is the one who started giving very great importance to garibi hatao. With that slogan, Garibi Hatao, she became the Prime Minister of India. There was a lot of negativity at that point of time because of emergency in the year 1976. Yet again she became Prime Minister because of the slogan called as Garibi Hatao, the moment once she became the Prime Minister of India, where the slum population are being asked to move out of the city areas, because city, what is the city? Is urban area where n number of visitors will be coming, tourism will be there, and these people are not having proper sanitation, proper hygiene is not there, proper settlements are not there, proper drinking water facility is not there. They are the nasty places, and so the government of India doesn't want to see these bloody people staying in the center of the city. Ask the people to go out. When the people are asked to go out and develop the slum area on the outskirts of the city, then the opposition started criticizing Srimati Gandhi, saying that she came to power by giving the slogan called as Garibi Hatao. After coming to the power, what she is doing? Garibiyon ko hatao. She came to power with the slogan called as Garibi Hatao. After coming to power, Garibiyon ko hatao. That is what the thing that happened. And it has become very, very popular slogan at that point of time. This is what the settlements. Then the very, very important topic is the regional development. So important is the one. How to develop a region. See, ultimately at the end of the day, when you want to enter into the service, you want to have what is the post called as IAS post. Once you are acting as a IAS, or when you are placed as a IAS in one particular district, what is the prime activity of you? You need to see the development of your district. And so the concept of regional development will come to the rescue. For a leader, this particular subject is very, very important. The regional development and planning, very, very important. When any area is not developing, suppose if at all you are taking one country or one state or one city, you cannot find the equal growth of entire city, equal growth of entire state, equal growth of entire country. Somewhere you can find some developments, in some other areas you can't find the development, they will be in a backward condition. Such a development on one side, underdevelopment on the other side is called as regional imbalances. This is called as regional imbalances, also called as regional disparities. These regional disparities are bound to be there in every country. You talk about any country, even it is a developed country, the regional disparities will be there. What is the role of the administrator? What is the role of the collectors to reduce the regional disparities? And so the collector will be asking the planners. Who are these planners? The geographers. Geographers, the urban planners comes into picture. They will be giving suggestions to collector, saying that, see, this part of the city is not developed. Come on, let us introduce a growth pole there. Let us introduce a growth center there. What is a growth pole? Maybe an airport, maybe a railway station, maybe a big industry, or maybe a big factory there. Whenever one such nucleus is established there, then the area starts developing. When the area starts developing, now this area is developed, that area is developed. That is what called as uniformity in the development that is happening. How to introduce, where to introduce, why to introduce the growth pole, growth center is nothing but the regional development and the regional planning. Is it clear? This is about the regional development and regional planning. What are the important programs already we have implemented? See here, 5-year plans. In India, the name of that committee is called as Nehru Mohalnabis committee, right? The first and foremost one, where based upon this one, the 5-year plans were introduced, the first 5-year plan, and in the 1991, the new economic policy, what is that one? The committee called as P.V. Manmohan Singh policy, right? P.V. Narasimha Rao and Mr. Manmohan Singh has taken a greater decision to introduce the liberalization, privatization and the globalization, right? Likewise, what are the experiences of India right from the independence? All they are given here. Like 5-year plans, then experience in the regional planning India, integrated regional, this is IRDP, very, very important plan, integrated rural development plan, CADP, command area development plan, watershed management. Even today this watershed development plan is very, very important. Then planning for the backward areas, then deserts and drought prone areas, the hill area development, multi-level planning. All the plannings are listed here. The planning, whatever you are seeing like this one, watershed development, is not that much important. You cannot get good marks only whenever you are writing this one. When you will be getting good marks, whenever you are giving the current examples, current programs. Suppose whenever talking about the backward areas or the desert or the drought prone areas, you need to talk about the desertification. What happened in the recently in the government of India? The government of India has signed one convention called as Bonn Convention under the UNCCD. You need to supply such type of examples. Whenever you are writing such type of examples, then your answer becomes a valid answer. If at all you are writing the same age old 1970s material in the 2025, you will be getting 1 mark. Out of 10 marks, you will be getting only 1 mark or maybe 2 marks, right? In order to get 6, in order to get 6.5, you need to use the current examples, right? The political aspects. See, the polity is also there in geography. How comes polity? The overlapping of geography with the political sciences is called as political science. Geographical basis of the Indian federalism. Why the India government has gone for federalism? What is federalism? See, let me put in a different way. Don't feel bad about this one, but this is a fact. What is Constitution of India? It's a book where we will be following all the rules and regulations out of that book, right? How it was written, how it was developed, by taking the best policies from nothing but borrowed principles. Did we develop the principle? No. Did we indigenously wrote? Of course we have written according to the applicability of the rule, right? Applicability of the rule to the land, right? But the concept was brought from, we have borrowed one from here, one from there, one from here, stitched together, and we are wearing this one, called as Constitution of India. And again that is very important question. From which constitution we have borrowed that one? Have you ever seen this one in the polity? Federalism is borrowed from which constitution? Federalism is borrowed from which constitution? Federalism basically from Canada, USA. From Canada and USA, especially it is Canada where we have borrowed from the Canada the federalism principles. How the federalism is working in India? The division of country into the two-tier structure like state and the center. The relations between the state and the center is called as federalism. Whether it is fit for the Indian geographical condition? Yes, it is ultimately fit. Why? Because we do have the princely state earlier. We were not having a centralized government earlier. We are having all the princely states. Now all the princely states needs to be managed by one single power. And so what is very important is the federalism. And so the geographical aspects are very much important to introduce the political aspects. Is it clear? Could understand, correlate each and every line, whatever is given in the syllabus, you need to have understanding about the past. If the past is not known, you cannot understand even the syllabus of geography. Then state reorganization. Why the states needs to be reorganized, and that too on what? Linguistic basis. There was a hue and cry. What Nehru said, he was very stubborn initially, saying that let there not be any division of the states based on the linguistic provinces, linguistic basis. If at all we are dividing the state on the language basis, definitely separatism will be there. Within no time, the states becomes altogether independent and they want to secede from India, which is very much danger for the unity of India. And Nehru outrightly said that no, let there be no state getting separated based on the linguistic basis. But one person in the Andhra Pradesh where he has taken fast unto death and died. When he died, there was a hue and cry in the entire the southern India, specifically the Madras province at that point of time. And whenever the state was burning like anything, Nehru started rolling back his policy and said that, yes, come on, let there be a committee. when the committee was given, till at that point of, before that committee itself, there were two more committees were there. The two more committees said that no, there should not be any state based on the linguistic basis. Again, a new committee was appointed, and that new committee recommended as, come on, chalo, let us have the states based on linguistic basis. The first state to form was the Andhra Pradesh, followed by so many states. Now, the regionalization is there. What are the problems with the regionalization right now? The regionalism developed. Right now, what is happening in the state of Karnataka, do you know? In the state of Karnataka, if at all the people are not talking in Kannada language, they are being brutally, they are not treated well. One incident happened recently in the bank, in the SBI bank. Some incident happened that the fellow demanded to speak only in Kannada language. See, when the regionalization is there based on the linguistic basis, such type of incident should not happen. If at all you are not writing something, the name board in Kannada language, that shop will be destroyed by the pressure groups. These are the things that are happening. Such things should not happen. What was predicted by Mr. Nehru is happening. Could understand? All, see, that past, what is happening in the present. You need to have the correlation. Whoever is having that connectivity, yes, no need to look back. The success is for sure. Right? See, this is what what are the other things like emergence of the new states. Recently, one more state emerged. What is that? One more division of the region. One state got divided into two union territories, Ladakh and Jammu Kashmir, right? Then international boundaries, then cross-border terrorism. This is going to be the very, very important in the present exam. Not only this one, also the internal security is a part and parcel of our geography. That also is going to be a very important question this year. Nothing but the Naxalism. Naxalism, this is terrorism. This is cross-border terrorism on one side, and internal issue which is called as Naxalism, Red Corridor, another issue. Probably in this year 2025 mains optional, definitely there will be a question on either of this, right? Then India's role in the world affairs. This is very, very important, especially because of this present government. Earlier government, where the India's role was not that much visibly seen, but now the India is having a very great commanding position in the world affairs, right? All the people are asking when the countries like Russia and Ukraine are fighting, come on India, you come and tell something. When Armenia and Azerbaijan were fighting, they were asking India, come on, what you are going to talk about this relation, Armenia and Azerbaijan. Then we said that, no, we don't want to involve. When Israel and the Palestine and Israel and Hamas were fighting, and the world leaders are asking India to speak up, that is what the importance of India right now, right? Then geopolitics of the South Asia and the Indian Ocean Rim. Right now, India is playing a crucial role in number of regional groups. What are the regional groups? SAARC is the regional group. ASEAN is a regional group. And India is a member of Quad, U2, I2. Did you see this one? U2, I2, right? And again, there are so many such new groups are there. SCO is there, BRICS is there, then also BIMSTEC is there. You should be having a clear understanding about all these organizations. U2, I2, BIMSTEC, SCO, BRICS. In all these things, India is playing a crucial role, and recently India has conducted G20 summit. These are the things where India is involved in. The last and final one we call as whatever is missed concept, all the missed are clubbed here, and they have kept here under the name called as contemporary issues. Okay? जब लिखने के टाइम पे कुछ ना कुछ छूट जाएगा, हाँ बाद में याद आएगा, चलो इसमें डालो. हाँ, it's called as etc. For future perspective. In fact, now it is become, because of this concept, environmental awareness, it has become a very, very important chapter. Climate change, global warming, what not we can add, everything is available here in the contemporary issues. That's why current affairs becomes very, very important with respect to this one. Right? This is about the strategy where you need to prepare. See, I have given majority of the things, like what is important is connectivity. How to connect? I have shown the syllabus that is there in the paper 1 and syllabus in the paper 2, where to connect, what to connect, how to connect. When you can get that ability to connect the concepts, provided if you complete your syllabus. Until then, you will be seeing the concepts as individual chapters. Whenever there is a question with respect to the Indian agriculture, you have to read only separately the Indian agriculture only. No need to connect at this point. Once you get the entire understanding of the concept in the paper 1 and in the paper 2 individually, then finally whenever you are writing the answers, then you can get the ability to connect. Where to connect, how to connect, what to connect, everything will be clear. Initially, how you need to read? You need to learn in a bit by bit, piece by piece approach. Once you get a clarity in that concept, then you will be in a position to connect. Is it clear? This is what the entire syllabus. See the analysis of this one, 2022. Basically, there will be 8 questions, as you people know. The first question and the 5th question are compulsory at any cost. You cannot skip them. If you skip them, marks will be not allotted, right? First question and the 5th question, they are compulsory. And out of 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, you have to pick up only 3 questions. Out of 5, you need to pick up only 3 questions. And you need to make sure that at least 1 question should be there in the both the sections. At least 1 question should be attended in the both the sections, except apart from the 1 and 5. Apart from 1 and 5, you need to at least attempt 1 question. These are the map pointing. Every time means what? Every year the section paper 2, section A, you will be having the map pointing. And this map pointing, more than I can tell 50%. 50% of the map pointing will be easy, where they are very, very popular names. But remaining 50% of the names, probably you might have not heard about. But why UPSC is selecting such type of names? Because they are there in the news. The places are there in the news, and so UPSC has picked up. What are the other things? Other things are very, very common, very popular, very famous names. And so, as a learned personality, as a learned geographer, you might be knowing this 50%. Minimum 50% the people can solve this one without any preparation. Without any preparation, minimum 50% will be done. See here, Mahe, very famous. Bomdila is a pass in the Arunachal Pradesh, right? This is the current affairs. At that point of time, in the year 2022, Dola Sadia Bridge in the Assam region, on the river called as Lohit River, connecting Dola village and the Sadia village. When the Prime Minister of India was inaugurating this particular bridge, a very great Assami lyricist died, and the name of the bridge was renamed on behalf of that great personality, called as Mr. Bhupen Hazarika Bridge. This is a Bhupen Hazarika Bridge. And Talakaveri is such a famous one, the birthplace of Kaveri River, Talakaveri. Sadkochia, Dolavira here, even in the history you will come across Dolavira, right? Then Sonmarg. Whereas these things, Maliku atoll, when we say it is atoll, one blind sign. What is atoll? It is related to coral reef. Where do you find corals in India? Lakshadweeps entirely are the coral reefs, right? 90% of such type of atolls, whenever they are given in this one, go to Lakshadweeps. Say that if it is, the same, some name is given, XYZ atoll. XYZ atoll is located in Lakshadweep. Even though you don't know that, then you take a chance. When you don't know, instead of skipping, you write that one. It is there in Lakshadweep, such a beautiful island, known for its tourism. The pristine waters are there. A good biodiversity is there. Biodiversity will be there. Atoll means what? Rich biodiversity. Pristine waters, definitely good waters. If the waters are not good, definitely coral reefs cannot develop. Pristine waters are there, good biodiversity is there. So beautiful island located in Lakshadweep. Forget about fishing, all these things, right? This is what the one. Whenever such atolls are given, don't skip that one, right? 50% definitely you will be in a position to write the answers without any preparation. If you prepare, it will reach maybe 80, sometimes even 90% also. Sometimes in the paper, like in the 2023, I think, where the names are very easy names are given there, right? Then coming to this one, every time these three questions, since they are mandatory, each and every person has to write. What type of questions are asked? They are the thought-provoking questions. Basically, they are live, that are happening in the current affairs. Basically, all they are related to the current affairs only. At the same time, maybe the government will be asking some suggestions from you, because you are the young minds. Young minds will be thinking in an innovative way, and so they will be asking, suggest a few measures for so and so issue. Got the point? The questions basically are from the current affairs or the burning issue or some suggestions. This is what the three. See this one, the extreme particulate matter remained a festering issue in the Delhi pollution. Burning issue. Because at the point of time, the Supreme Court Chief Justice and also President was also talking about the pollution. We are staying in Delhi. Where that is, I was living in the forest area. The President has given the statement. I was from Odisha. I was in the forest area, such a pristine climate. All these fellows brought me to Delhi. Where is Delhi is not having fresh air? Means these are not the wordings, but the statement something goes like this one. The interpretation is this one. Now, what is one where she lived, such a pristine, ecologically good area where the air pollution is not known at all, such a wonderful area. She was brought in the name of the President and was kept in Delhi. Then, don't you think that she will be feeling bad? Same is the condition. Supreme Court Chief Justice, when he was forced to stay in Delhi, he cannot run away because he was a Supreme Court Chief Justice. Then he gave a statement. Why don't the administrator, nothing but the executive, take a proper steps in cutting down the Delhi pollution? But the Delhi pollution is basically not because of the things that are happening here. There are some external factors are there. Some natural geographical factors are there. See what happens in the winters, there is shift in the pressure belts. The pressure belts shift to the southern side. When the sun's rays are falling to the southern side, there is a shift in the pressure belt. When there is a shift in the pressure belt, the subtropical high pressure belt shift to in between 25 to 30 degrees latitude. In between 25 to 30 degrees latitude, what happens? The air subsides. The moment once the air subsides, subsidence inversion is there. You might be knowing in the temperature inversion. Whenever the subsidence inversion is there, wherever the inversion is there you cannot find the rainfall. The particles get trapped there, subsiding. The air is subsiding. When the air is subsiding, where the pollution can go out, it cannot go out. And so during the winter season, Delhi is having more pollution. Entirely logical based. If you know this logic, you will be writing the answer in extraordinary way. You need not to read. You need to know the concept. What are the pressure belts? What do you mean by shifting of the pressure belts? What do you mean by inversion of temperature? What do you mean by subsidence inversion? When you know all these things, you can write. This is one part. That is a natural factor where not the Chief Justice of India, not the Prime Minister of India, President of India, can't do anything. Because that is a natural phenomena. Whenever it is the shift of the pressure belts, no, as the Prime Minister of India, I am not allowing India to shift the pressure belt. You cannot tell. That is but natural factor. And so, whenever the trapping of the air is happening, you can find pollution. But why this pollution is so rampant? Because of some other man-made factors. What is that man-made factor? Stubble burning. From where the stubble burning smoke is coming from? The Punjab region. Why it is coming? You need to talk about the geographical conditions. During the winter season, the northeast monsoonal winds are there. What do you mean by northeast monsoonal winds? The winds are coming from the western part of India towards the eastern side on the great northern plains. And so Punjab is located on the western side. The smoke of Punjab is entering into the Delhi. Moreover, Delhi, surrounding Delhi, you can find good number of industries. Because of the industries, the pollutions are getting trapped in the cold and the dense air. Cold air is always dense, where it cannot escape, and so the dense air is not allowing the particulate matter to move out. And so, moreover, the urbanization, rapid urbanization, because of urbanization, more number of cars are there, vehicles are there. घर में 2 होगा, लेकिन 4 vehicles रहेगा, 2 bike, 2 बड़ा गाड़ी. When the population of Delhi is this much and the population of the vehicle is this much, nothing but the number of vehicles are more, then what to do? More pollution will be happening. All these things. At the same time, the construction activity, since it is urban area, more and more construction activity happens. When more the construction is there, particulate matter will be erupting out. For the construction activity, what is the important ingredient? Bricks are the important one. And so, around the surrounding the Delhi, you can find the greatest bricklin. Whenever the heat is there, the air is polluted, the dust will be erupted there, and all the pollution will be entering into Delhi, making the Delhi, the health of the Delhites has been ruined. See, what is a gift given by Delhi to its Delhites? If a person is born and brought up in Delhi, by the time that fellow turns 25 to 30, bronchioles are being choked. Means what? Asthma will be there. That is a gift given by the urban area to the Delhi population. That is what is happening. The young generation are having asthma. Right? This is the answer. For that, you need to read or what? Just, the world geography. If you know the world geography, you can write this one. Just by seeing some of the small things, you can write the answer, right? How do physiography and climate of India explain the biodiversity of the country? See the one. If this is asked in the question which is having the chance for the students to skip, majority of the people used to skip this question. And so they kept this question in the mandatory question. See the beauty of the question. Such a wonderful question is this one. The physiographic features. What do you mean by physiographic features? Where do you find mountains? Where do you find valleys? Where do you find the plateaus? Where do you find the forest and all these things? And climate. Physiography and the climate of India explains the biodiversity. What do you mean by biodiversity? Having variety of life in one area, varieties of life forms in one area is called as biodiversity. Where do you find the very rich biodiversity in India? In the Himalayan regions, in the Western Ghats area, in the Andaman Nicobar. Now see the connectivity. Why in Andaman Nicobar you can find very rich biodiversity? The man is not entering there, man is not polluting there, man is not degrading the things. Right? Why in the Himalayan areas you can find very good biodiversity, especially the eastern Himalayas where the rich biodiversity. Right from the west till east you can find the biodiversity, but in the eastern side more biodiversity is there. Very tall, steep mountains are there, population is very less, and so the human degradation is very less. Right? Moreover, good rainfall. The climatic condition, physical structure is the slope, good rainfall, good temperatures are there, and so very rich biodiversity where the undisturbed climatic conditions are there, undisturbed by the man, basically. Whenever you are not disturbing there, definitely can find the rich biodiversity. Why in the Western Ghats? Why in the western parts of Western Ghats? Very tall structures. Because of very rich biodiversity, some of the environmentalists are protecting them. Had these environmentalists or the National Green Tribunal was not active enough, by the time the Western Ghats got degraded like anything. In the name of mining, in the name of developmental activities, Western Ghats got completely degraded. Today, the Western Ghats is having very rich biodiversity because of climatic condition. Why is such a climatic condition? What type of climate is there? The windward side of the Western Ghats, you can find high rainfall. Very high amount of rainfall, more than 200 centimeters of rainfall. Moreover, the temperature is very good throughout the year. What else is required for the plant to grow? Temperatures are there, water is available. What else is required? Photo is available, they can synthesize, and so there is a rich biodiversity. Is it clear? See, the physical structure at the same time climatic conditions are the one which are responsible for rich biodiversity. Such type of questions you need to develop on your own. Whenever you are in a position to develop such type of questions, then you are called as well prepared personality.
right? Then see here, process of desertification leads to soil desiccation and soil loss. A 10th class student also can say, if the statement is given in the preliminary part, the desertification leads to soil loss, is the statement true or false? True. Everyone knows that is true, but how to write in the optional part? Question is very conventional in nature. The answer should not be simple. You need to write in a very systematic way. Start the answer with the definition of desertification. What do you mean by desertification? Draw a map there. Even here also you can draw the map. Where do you find the rich biodiversity? Wherever it is feasible, you need to draw the map. Here draw the process of desertification. What do you mean by desertification? Lack of soil moisture. Whenever the soil moisture is not there, then what happens? The soil becomes coarser. When the soil becomes coarser, the what is this one? The eruption of the particles becomes loose. Whenever the particles becomes loose, with a small blow of the wind, they are eroded. When the soil is getting eroded, there is nothing but the soil loss. Where it is happening, come and show the areas. Also show the human activities. Like it is the human who is creating. One is the natural process where the natural rainfall is not there. Other reason why the desertification is happening, because of unplanned agriculture, faulty systems of agriculture, where the man is going for extensive cultivation without giving fallowing to the land, indiscriminate use of chemical fertilizers, indiscriminate use of chemical pesticides, and so man is also responsible for desertification condition. Then the third answer, again man is responsible for deforestation. Indiscriminate deforestation is happening, and so the soil is not protecting, is getting eroded and it is getting desiccated, right? These are the things where you need to write the answer in a very systematic way. Clear? See, likewise, for each and every question, there must be a connectivity to the paper one, right? These are the things that are there. Like second question, critically examine the factors affecting the unpredictability of southwest monsoon. What you have to write? Unpredictability of the southwest monsoon. In order to predict the southwest monsoon, what are the important things that are important for the IMD, for the Indian Meteorological Department? What are the important predicting? They are studying to predict the southwest monsoons. One is the position of the jet stream, subtropical westerly jet stream. If it is close to the surface, if it is coming very close to the surface at around 8 kilometers, the bifurcation of the jet stream happens. Then the cold winds will be coming along the slopes of the Himalayas, and so there is no question of entry of the monsoonal winds. The position of jet stream, number one, ITCZ, nothing but where the monsoonal trough is located, whether the monsoonal trough is there along the great northern plains or it has shifted beyond the Himalayas. If it is shifting beyond the Himalayas, breaks in the monsoons happens. Instead of burst in the monsoon, breaks in the monsoons takes place, delay in the monsoon happens. Then next you need to talk about Indian Ocean dipole, Madden-Julian oscillation, El Nino, La Nina, nothing but the concept of ENSO. If at all you are telling about all these things, is called as the predictability of the southwest monsoons. Then peninsular India location provides scope for harnessing non-conventional energy. Very, very important. What is this non-conventional energy? The energy like wind power, solar energy, then wave energy, tide energy. And have you ever come across this energy called as, this is very, very important one. You have to mention this energy is called as OTEC. Ocean Thermal Energy Conversion. See this one, specifically in India and also some of the islands, the tropical islands. Whenever the sun rays are falling, the surface waters becomes warm. That very warm water and the cold water lying deep in the inner layers, beyond 1000 meters you can find the cold waters. On the surface you can find at around some 200 meters you can find the warm waters. Because of the variation in the temperature between the warm water and the cold waters, you can produce the electricity. The technology is called as OTEC, the Ocean Thermal Energy Conversion, where the pumping of the cold water, pumping of the warm water makes the turbines to rotate. Generator will be working on the electricity is generated. It is the cheapest mode of energy production rather than going for what is called as solar energy. For the solar, what is important? Land has to be wasted. In order to harness the energy, we need to lose the resources. What is the resource you are losing? The land resources, because you need to place the solar panel. Whenever you are placing the solar panel, what happens? When the solar energy is absorbed, the land cannot be cultivable. More temperatures are there, the land becomes intensely heated up, and so the land resources are wasted. At the same time, whenever you are talking about the wind energy, you need to select the places where the harnessing of wind energy, elevated areas are required, wherever the wind velocity is more. But whereas this one, every day the solar energy is there, the water gets heated up, and the cold waters are definitely cold, the lower waters are definitely cold, the difference is there, and so you can produce the energy. This is an important form of energy where the government of India is right now planning to go for this one. OTEC, very, very important, OTEC, right? This is what the answer you need, right? Because peninsular India is having the water facility, and so you can produce electricity there. Then the groundwater contamination is a fast expanding in urban landscape of India appears to have become a major public health issue. Whenever the groundwater gets contaminated, number of diseases will be there. Let us first of all talk about the groundwater. What is the groundwater? How much of percentage of groundwater is available? These are the traditional things. Even in the GS you will be coming across. Then after writing that one, then talk about the urbanization. Because of the urbanization, where more and more effluents, the industrial effluents, untreated effluents are being dumped into the soil, and they will be percolating deep into the deep into the lower layers of soil, and they get in contact with the groundwater. Once they get contact with the groundwater get contaminated. The contact creates contamination. Specifically in the developing countries it is happening. The industry like pharma industry. We feel so proud about the pharma industry. India is topmost in the pharmaceuticals. But at what cost? We are degrading our health. We feel so proud about our chemical industries. But at what cost? The chemicals, the chemical waste is unable to dispose. You cannot dispose the chemical waste at free of cost. For that again you need to invest. The people are not interested in disposing the chemical waste by investing something. But all they are leading to what is called as groundwater contamination. Whenever the nitrates get contaminating the groundwater, you can find the diseases. There are so many diseases like mercury contamination, nitrate contamination, fluoride contamination. If the fluorosis is there, whenever the fluoride get contaminating the groundwater, if at all the people are drinking, you will be having the disease called as the fluorosis. What is this fluorosis? The bones becomes very, very weak. The teeth becomes very weak. If at all you are biting something, not the nut, your teeth will break. If at all you are hitting with anything, the bones get break. That is what the fluorosis. There is a disease called as blue baby syndrome, blackfoot disease, and also with the mercury, the nitrate disease, the blue baby syndrome, and the other one called as calcium is called as cadmium is called as blackfoot disease. And whereas there is a disease called as Minamata disease because of the water contamination with the mercury. All these are happening in the urban areas. Why only in the urban areas? In the rural areas the people are not utilizing those chemicals. Got the point? Where do you find more density of the population? In urban area. And so it has become an important question. Right? See, all they are general knowledge based, at the same time current developments. See, you need not have any master degree in geography or something. You can write the answer in a very, very comfortable way, provided if you think betterment of India. Whenever you are having the mindset to bring some betterments for India, definitely these questions can be doable. You can write all these questions. Right? See, this one, non-conventional energy, because what is the need of the hour right now? We need to shift from conventional to non-conventional because conventional energies are global warming in nature. Right? All the questions. Discuss the recent changes brought about the institutional framework in agriculture. That's what I'm talking about. Agriculture is the one which is very, very important. In every year you will be finding one question. Institutional framework like land reforms, then you can talk about the soil testing laboratories, then talk about introduction of what is called as the policies like introduction of e-norm for the marketing. All the institutional based mechanisms are being need to enlist here. Then evaluate the impact of agrarian economy. Earlier Indian economy, even today Indian economy is called as agrarian, but till 1991 Indian economy is said to be called as Hindu growth rate economy. Why? Because never it will be growing beyond 4%, because at that point of time we are completely dependent upon agriculture. Thanks to the liberalization, privatization, the globalization, where right now we are seeing much more developments. We are not completely depending upon agriculture alone. Now some other activities are also been in the GDP, and therefore we are moving ahead. If we are even today depending upon the agriculture, definitely the growth rate would have been just 4%. This is what the framework that is there. What needs to be done? You need to write the answer. Discuss the continuing dispute of water sharing. Always, whenever the rivers moves from one state to another state, obviously you can find the dispute, right? Whenever the two personalities are there, sharing the same common pen, book, have you ever seen in your house? Maybe the sister, brother, if at all you are forced to share a common book or a pen or a dress, definitely you'll be fighting. Same is the case. Whenever the waters are, the river is moving from one state to another state, the riparian states will be having some dispute. What type of disputes are there? In the northwest India, specifically in the northwest India, then you can talk about the water sharing between Rajasthan and the Madhya Pradesh. Like, there is the Chambal water sharing. Again, the other one called as the Banas River. Sindh River is there. Also, you can talk about the connecting of the link canal between Yamuna and Satluj, the Satluj-Yamuna link canal. You can write about all these things, right? Soils in India are the clear reflection of the structure and the process. What is the soil? Soil is the product of the structure and the process. Meaning what? Structure, what type of rocks are there? If the basalt rock is there, the basalt rock gives rise to the soil called as black soil. If there is a granitic rock, that granitic rock gives rise to the soil called as red soil. What type of process? The process is called as the weathering process, that needs to be weathered, and then you can find the soil formation. You need to talk about each and every soil, like start with the alluvial soils. Alluvial soils are immature soils, they are transported soils. Somewhere from the Himalayan region, the sediments are being brought and they are deposited, and so they are called as transported soils. Talk about the laterite soils. The laterization, what do you mean by laterization? Wherever you can find high rainfall and high temperature, but in alternative seasons, there you can find the laterization. That is the process. The process and the structure always leads to the soil formation. Again, it's a general question where with the GS geography knowledge you can write. But in that question, if at all you are adding the soils of India connecting with the morbid classification of the paper 1, then the answer becomes the paper 1, what is called as the optional answer, right? Then India is bestowed with the rich mineral resources. You need to talk about all the resources that are there. So many minerals are there in India, right? India is bestowed with the mineral resources due to its geological structure. What is the geological structure? Where do you find more and more minerals in India? Chotanagpur region. What type of topography? The palimpsest topography, patland topography, where you can find the igneous rocks, the ancient acidic igneous rocks. Because of this one, you can find the hematite over there. Then also, because the river rift valleys like Damodar, the river like Son River, you can find the coal deposits there. In the Deccan Plateau, you can find again the river rift valley called as Godavari Rift Valley, coal is there. In the Aravalli areas, we can find the copper deposits. In the veins and lodes, in the Aravallis, you can find the copper deposit. What is the name of that area where you can find the copper? Khetri copper region. The name of the district is called as Junjunu district, right? All these things you need to explain. Discuss the importance of dry land farming and drought prone area of India. Regional planning here. What do you mean by dry land farming? Dry land farming and the drought prone area. In fact, in the case of dry land farming, you can talk about what is called as you cultivating such type of crops where they require less amount of water. as the land is not having such a great capacity to hold the moisture, maybe because of less amount of moisture that is received meteorologically, or even though the moisture is more meteorologically, means what, due to rainfall, the soil is not having the holding capacity, and so the moisture has lost. Whenever the moisture has lost, then you will be finding the dry forming. At that dry forming areas, what is the duty of the policy holder? What you have to do as a leader of that area, in order to bring the betterment for the people, you need to introduce some of the important programs like integrated water management programs, integrated soil management programs, integrated resource management program, integrated biomass management program. All these programs needs to be introduced there in that area, right? This is what the answer. Incidents of extreme rainfall events of flash floods in the recent times have led to the devastating consequences for people living in the low-lying area and the floodplains of the country. Extreme rainfall. Why there is an extreme rainfall? What is this year? The year is 2022. During 2021, 2022 and even 2020, for the 3 years, there was a La Nina condition. When there was a 3 continuous La Nina conditions was there, the concept is named as triple dip, as given by World Meteorological Organization. When there was a La Nina, India will be having the flooding conditions, and because of this one, even the district like Jaisalmer, Bikaner and Barmer region, where the floods were there in that area, in the western part of Rajasthan. Not only this one, even in the eastern part of Maharashtra. The eastern part of Maharashtra is known as the rain shadow region. The eastern part of Deccan Plateau, specifically in the southern Andhra Pradesh, called as Rayalaseema. Rayalaseema, eastern Rajasthan like Marathwada, Vidarbha, the Rajasthani desert area, all these areas witness flooding conditions. This is what happened, right? Extreme weather events and flashes are happening, right, in the low-lying areas. Then section B, you need to choose only 2 questions out of those things, or you can choose only 1 question and you need to choose here 2 questions. See, this 5th question is compulsory question. Discuss the impact of, in this compulsory questions, what type of questions will be there? Definitely thought-provoking or the current related or very tricky questions will be asked, right? Discuss the impact of Forest Rights Act 2006 on the local forest communities in India. When the act was there in the year 2006, when the question was asked in the year 2022. Why? Because the impacts of that particular act, as and when they started implementing right from 2006, what is the impact of that particular act on the present communities, especially in the local forest communities. During this point of time, around some 2015-16, the government of India has started giving the land title deeds to the people. During that point of time, the title deeds are been there, and so the impacts are being asked here in this question in the year 2022. Then, can the Panchayat Raj institution play a role in the grassroots level in the planning? If yes, discuss. Panchayat Raj itself is called as the administration at the grassroots level. Will it be having an impact? Yes, it will be having impact. What type of impact are there? The introduction of what is called as, you can talk about R.P. Mishra's growth concept here. The village center. Nothing but it is called as Gram Panchayat, then service centers where there are the mandal levels, and then finally at the district level you can find the central authority. This is what the decentralization, right, from the bottom to top approach. That is what the one R.P. Mishra's concept needs to be connected with the paper 1 to the paper 2, right? Then discuss the significance of new ports. New ports that are established in the western side. Because why the western side is very important? Because there is a submergent variety of coast, and so the natural port construction is very much feasible in the western side. Discuss the significance of the new ports on the western coast of India on the external trade of India. When the western ports are natural ports, the construction becomes feasible, and moreover the western part of the coast is getting connected with the markets like Middle East, nothing but West Asia, connecting to the Europe. Middle East is full of oil, Europe is full of high technology goods. Also, hitherto unexplored markets like Africa. Africa is also there in the western side, and so construction of new ports becomes very significant. Then how would declining would decline in the total fertility rate below the replacement level in many states of India affects the future population structure of the country. That's what we are talking about. Except the states like Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, where the total fertility rates got declined to that of the replacement. What do you mean by replacement ratio? Parents, mother, father has to be replaced by 2 kids. That is what the replacement ratio. But now the total fertility rate is reduced to less than 2.1%. Because of this one, whenever the total fertility rate reduces, what happens? Impact will be negative population growth rate. Right? This is what you need to talk about. Kala Pani dispute between Nepal and India. Kala Pani dispute has opened a new front on the India-Nepal international border. This Kala Pani, in fact, is basically the river called as Kali River. The rivers which, the places to the east of Kali River should be coming under the territory of Nepal. That is what the agreement written between India and British India and the Nepal king at that point of time, way back in the British time period. But after independence, after many years, because of the shifting nature of the river has shifted to the western side. When it has shifted to the western side, Kala Pani went to the hands of Nepal. Not only Kala Pani, even our Uttar Pradesh, one of the pass called as Lipu Lake Pass went into the eastern side of the Kali River. And so Nepal is claiming. What Nepal did, recently Nepal has released a new map saying that Kala Pani, Lipu Lake of India, all they are, even there is another one, Limpiadura, yes, the very important tri-junction that is there called as Limpiadura region. These are the 3 important areas, all they are showed as a autonomous regions of, they are under the control of Nepal. This is what the map of Nepal has depicted. India became furious, made a call, how dare you to draw this type of map. Then they are also retaliating, they are also telling that you have released a map showing that where the government of India has did what it has done. There is a very traditional thing called as Kailas Mansarovar Yatra, where we people are sentimental to go there, right? Up till this point of time, there is no other way except to go on foot. But now the government of India is planning to go to make a road there so that a motorcyclist can go there to Kailas Mansarovar. By taking visa of China and all these things, they can visit the Kailas Mansarovar. When they have drawn a draft report showing that, yes, in these rules we can take bike and can reach the Kailas Mansarovar Yatra to the Kailas Mansarovar, we have released a map showing that Lipu Lake is ours, Limpiadura is ours, and even Kala Pani is ours. Then, in response to our map, Nepal is showing its own map, saying that all these 3 places belongs to us because of the agreement between India and the then British India and British India and the King of Nepal. Right? These are the backgrounds. For everything there is a background. If you know the background, you can understand the scenario, why this particular question is in the news. Right? Why do disparities in the, again, regional planning here? Disparities meaning what? Regional planning. Agriculture, regional planning, very, very important things. And the contemporary issues like climate change, environment and all these things, right? Disparities in the development and the incomes between the regions persist in large countries like India. How does the recent ADP plan address the issue? The plan that is introduced by the government of India, where it is reducing, it is ought to reduce the regional disparities. These regional disparities, as I said earlier also, regional disparities are but common in every country. Very, very common. But how we are going to resolve these issues? That is what what is the other one I didn't mention. This one is the reference. See the reference. You have to read the book called as D.R. Kuller. Write down somewhere the reference books. D.R. Kuller, Comprehensive Indian Geography. Very, very important book, mandatory book. Also, you need to go to the magazines like Down to Earth. You need to, as a condition, you need to read the book called as Yojana and Kurukshetra. The other thing where you can get some what is called as some clue where the questions can be asked here is the fourth one. There is a report called as year-end report, year-end review. Year-end review published by each and every ministry. Each and every ministry year-end review will be there in the month of December. In the month of December 25th or 30th, within 30th, year-end review will be released. It will be released under PIB website. In the PIB website, whenever you go to the year-end review, each and every ministry will be enlisting its success, all the success stories. Majority of the questions will be picked from those success stories. Also, you need to talk about what is called as some of the governmental reports. When I say it is the governmental report and the NGO reports, go for international reports, specifically UN related site, UN related website, like maybe UNCBD website, UNFCCC website, or IPBP report, right? These are the important world reports that are having connectivity with the Indian aspects, right? These are the things where you need to follow as a reference, right? Let us show the remaining questions. Then critically examine the role of Indian remote satellite, Indian remote navigation satellite NAVIC program on the satellite navigation system. Again, that is the same thing, like we are talking about the resource SAT, ocean SAT, and all these INSAT, we are talking about the same thing. Explain the role of high population concentration in Indian slums in making them more vulnerable during the pandemic condition like COVID-19. Current affairs again. When the paper 2022, meaning what? During 2022, the second wave of COVID was there and number of people were killed, and so the question is there. Then the seventh question, discuss the salient characteristics of the industrial complexes of Western India. Examine the impact of SEZ policy on the region. When we say it is the Western industrial complexes, what there are certain major industrial complexes which are called as the major industrial corridors, and the other one is called as minor industrial corridor. What are the important major industrial corridors you can find in the western side? It is Bombay-Pune industrial corridor. One is Bombay-Pune industrial corridor, very, very important industrial corridor which is located in the western side. Also, whenever you are talking about some of the minor industrial corridor in the western side, you can talk about the Mundra Ahmedabad industrial corridor. The area is called as the Kutch region till Ahmedabad. That is another region where you can find the minor industrial corridor. You can pick up some of the examples from there and you can write about the products that are being imported, the products that are the products that are manufactured there. For what these areas are very famous for: oil importing, oil refining, and manufacturing of the textiles, manufacturing of the chemicals, manufacturing of the pharmaceuticals. You need to talk about these things and examine that SEZ policy. When compared to China, SEZ policy in India is somewhat not so successful, right? Then discuss the emergence of linguistic regions. Whatever we have given in a very brief introduction, the same things are there, right? Discuss the emergence of linguistic regions and the states in India. Federalism, right? Again, Dhar Commission, the Nehru, JVP Commission, Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel and Patabi Sitaram Commission, right? And Fazal Ali Commission. These are the commissions that are there, and finally linguistic basis needs to be explained. What are the drivers of urban sprawl? What is urban sprawl? Urban sprawl is nothing but the developments in the outskirts of the city where they will be growing on a rampant scale because of low rents there, low value of the land, many facilities like pristine waters, good air conditions. There is no question of pollution in that area, and so the people move out of the urban areas and they will be developing a settlements there, which is called as the extension. This is called as urban sprawl around the major cities of the country. How have new investments in transportation projects supported the sprawl development. It is always the transportation condition. Even in our classes, when we are talking about the transportation, we'll be talking about the importance of the transport. The best example what we'll be giving is the laying of the roads from the eastern USA to the western USA. Whenever the roads are laid, definitely the area will develop. On the same lines here also, because of the transportation networks, the urban sprawls will get developed. This is of paper 2022, right? Likewise, you can talk about the, one more is there. How do agroclimatic and land capability indicators assist in macro agriculture regionalization of India? Illustrate with an appropriate map. Map needs to be drawn, the agroclimatic regions. How many agroclimatic regions are there? 15 are there. In taking what a criteria the government of India has gone for agroclimatic regions, they have delineated the agroclimatic regions based upon the people's traditional cultural values, what type of products they used to do, they used to cultivate, taking the geographical condition, how much of rainfall is happening, how much of soil moisture is there, taking the type of soil that is there, taking the relief into consideration, they have prepared these agroclimatic regions. Then discuss the geopolitical significance of Quad. Quad is a group of 4 countries. One is India. Had India is not there, definitely this will not be a question in UPSC. Right? India, Japan, Australia and USA. These are the 4 countries that are there in the Indo-Pacific realm with reference to the marine trade in the region. Whenever you are talking about such a area which is some internationally related, you need to connect such type of questions. Whenever you come across such type of words, geopolitical, connect with the political geography. What are the 2 important concepts? Heartland and rimland. Which is where India is located? India is located in the rimland, and so you need to connect in the rimland. As given by Mr. Spikeman, in the rimland, as India is a part and parcel of rimland, and so India is playing a major role in the geopolitics of the world countries. That is what one statement. Whenever such one statement is given, whenever you are talking about the rimland, yes, it will be connected to the paper one, right? Evaluate the role of National Food Security Act, just like whatever the Forest Act we are talking about, the National Food Security Act 2003 in providing access to food to the poor. What are the programs that are there? The programs like Antyodaya Anna Yojana, where the food grains are supplied at free of cost to the people. Minimum of 20 kgs are being given at free of cost, right? Whereas other schemes are there called as public distribution system, where the people are giving, the governments are giving at a subsidized price. But Antyodaya Anna Yojana, where it is completely free of cost, right? This is about the paper, right? In fact, because of lack of time, 2023 is there, 2024 is also there. Right? We'll stop here. Hope you got some insight with respect to the nature of the paper. What are, let me put like this one, with what you need to get equipped with. In order to write these answers, what is the basic ingredient you should be having? Hope you got that particular concept, right? And believe this one, such a easy and such a interest and such a current related subject, there is no other subject than geography. So greatly interconnected. We can see the things lively. Whatever is happening outside, you need to read here. Whatever is whatever you are reading here, you can see in the real world. Such a practical connectivity is there with the subject. Right? Is it clear? Take care of yourselves. See you in the. We are expecting one advanced program. Maybe from, I think it's day after tomorrow. From day after tomorrow, there is advanced program is there, right? Let we meet in that program with some of the new concepts that are there, where some more explanation needs to be given to the whatever is already taught to the ongoing batch, right? Let we meet in that classes. And the new batch will be commencing in the month of July. Not yet decided. Tentatively it is in the first week of July. Now the people are telling that it is in the last week of June, but probably according to me, it may shift to July. We wait and see, right? The date is not yet confirmed, right? Okay, see you then. Take care of yourselves. Jai Hind.
CSAT is qualifying but absolutely crucial. No matter how well you perform in GS, if you don't clear CSAT, your prelims ends there. Every year, many capable aspirants fall short simply because they underestimated this paper. What's the way forward? Structured preparation, consistent practice, and the right guidance. Join the Vision IAS CSAT Classroom Program 2026 starting from 12th June at 11 a.m. What you'll get: complete coverage of quantitative aptitude, logical reasoning and comprehension. Emphasis on speed, accuracy and concept clarity. Regular practice with UPSC level questions. Personalized guidance and mentorship. Available in both offline, classroom and live online modes. Whether you're a first-time aspirant or reappearing, don't let CSAT be the reason you fall short.